Hi everyone, this is Max and I'm really happy to welcome you here in the lab for this new episode. And today we're going to be discussing about a topic that you might have seen coming back a few times if you've been on this channel before. And it's about team performance, team effectiveness. What is it to be going from a group of individuals to an actual team? What are the phases in team maturity? And this is why today I want to go through the model of the late American psychologist Bruce Tuckman, which was developed in 1965, and it's all about group dynamics and group development stages. So the first thing to notice is that team performance doesn't follow a linear pattern. You don't start at the bottom to get at the very top forever. No, it starts actually slightly higher, and then there's a first dip, and then it grows all the way to a certain plateau. So the very first phase is actually the forming phase, followed by the storming phase, followed then by the norming phase, and ending with the performing phase, which is where the team reach maximum effectiveness in performance. So now let's go for the first phase, which is the forming. So in the forming phase, what you see is that people don't necessarily know each other. They're actually just individuals who've been assigned to the same team, whether it's a project, whether it's a department. The only thing they have in common really is maybe their background expertise and their manager. That's pretty much that. And in this phase, the team purpose is actually not clear. So individual members are getting to know each other, but they're also getting to know the what or the why are they there, where is this team going? And they are really looking towards the leader for guidance and for goal setting. So the individual roles and responsibilities are still unclear, and the tolerance are actually being tested. But people don't go as far as to contradict each other. Basically, they will not necessarily voice their opinion about the goal, because first of all, the goal is not clear yet, but also they don't really want to get into a bad relation with their new peers. So it's really a virtual team. There's a sense of harmony, which is a little bit fake. So it's very important for the leader in this phase to really state it very clearly, this is where we need to go. So there is quite a directive type of management which is expected from the leader at this phase. And then we move to the next phase, which is called the storming phase. And in this phase, the team purpose is getting clearer, but it's also being challenged, because individual members are starting to voice their opinion on the goal itself, but are also starting to voice their opinion about each other. They don't have this feeling that, okay, I really need to try to get along with those people around me, because they're basically a little bit further now. They know each other and they have opinion about each other, which is usually a recipe for a bit of conflict. And on top of that, there are some concerns about team hierarchy, because at this phase, if the hierarchy is not completely clear, if the status of each other is not completely clear, more conflict can arise. And typically what you see is that the first conflicts break out about process and status, but they always manifest themselves as personal. Because usually when you see a personal conflict between people, it's just a symptom of something deeper, which is why there's a very important role for the leader there to really be the coach of the team, to help the team focusing on the clarified goal. And this is why the leader has to explain why we need to go in that direction, why we are trying to achieve this, because this is what is going to unify people. This is what is going to create commitment from these people, and this will be what they will have in common. And this will help resolving conflicts about status, conflicts about process, and ultimately personal conflicts. So the next phase, if the leader has been contributing properly to this storming phase, if the leader has been able to identify this storming phase and act upon it, is the norming phase. And in the norming phase, the team goal is clear and accepted by the team, which is very, very important, because this is the foundation, having a common goal. This is what differentiates a group of individuals and a team. So individual members also start to accept each other's differences, because they understand that there is an overarching goal, something they are trying to achieve together. So the roles and responsibility are getting clearer because people are willing to accept them as well. So the only real issue in this phase, which is just as important as in the previous phase, is that conflict is avoided at all costs. And I think this is an extremely dangerous thing, because conflict is necessary. Conflict should be encouraged, because if there is a team without any conflict, then it means we are not really trying to do the best we can to achieve the goal. We are not really digging into what is the best approach to achieve this goal. It's a very important role for the leader. In this phase, in the norming phase, is to really facilitate the discussions within the team, facilitate the way to reach the goal. And that's why we ask the leader to really come up with questions such as, how would you propose to get there? This is really a question towards the team. And by really stating how would you propose to get there, the leader is encouraging people to voice their opinion, and they might be different on how to get there. So later on comes the next phase, which is the ultimate phase, the performing phase. In the performing phase, the team goals are often overachieved. Strategic awareness really increases within the team. Individual members care and support each other. There is respectful conflict, which are encouraged and managed within the team, with the help of the manager to clearly remove impediments, but they are managed within the team. The roles and responsibilities are clear, and people are really focusing on getting things done. So there is an important role for the leader in that phase, is to really develop people, is to delegate more things to people because they are capable of more, because they understand why they need to get somewhere. The stakes are crystal clear, people know their role, so they can be challenged and trusted for more. So it's a very, very interesting phase because the team is not in autopilot at all, but the team is self-steering. The team is willing to do more. The team understands what we are trying to achieve, why we are trying to achieve it, and what are the strengths of each other to get there. So the leader can actually give a lot more responsibilities to individual members. So typically you would hope that this phase stays forever, but in practice it's impossible, because if you do your job well as a leader and challenge people accordingly, and help them develop and delegate more and more to people, they will grow and want for more. And your role as a leader is really to help them get to that next phase. And that next phase for them can be a new position, a new challenge. And typically when you replace these people with new people joining the team, well, you might fall back into one of the phases such as forming, or sometimes directly to storming, because you're introducing someone in the team who's willing to challenge everything. And again, this is not a bad thing. So you as a leader have to manage these phases, you have to understand, you have to recognize them. But once you reach performing, don't try to keep the team in this phase forever, because it's not possible. If you do that, it means you're not developing your people. Just be mindful, just understand and detect the cues of which phase you're in and help your team and wear the hat that you're supposed to wear in that phase. So these were the 4 phases of Tuckman. So they are forming, storming, norming, and performing. And I really invite you to learn how to detect these phases, and don't hesitate to reach out so that we can discuss more about this topic, because I've been using this model for quite some years now. I'll be happy to share more. So thank you for watching and take care. Hey, thanks a lot for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you loved it, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time.